Hello! Say hello. Hello, friends and gamers, and welcome to the Fortress. My name is Jinx. I thought I'd show you what I've got going on in my war room, the table I've set up, and maybe it'll inspire you and give you guys some ideas. I had no clue what to do with my table until I went to Panzer King's place, and he showed me some thoughts on his table and another one that he got set up that was a little bit cheaper than his beautiful stainless steel frame. So I thought I'd go through this and show you what I've got going on. So first of all, you see I have 3 different layers there. The bottom layer is just simply a support. I have all of the only thing I've got on it is it's sitting on a plastic table here. I had to trim the legs a little bit, but that was no issue whatsoever. Now the bottom layer is pretty sturdy, and as you see I've got a lot of support on it, so I could actually put my whole weight on here. Now I don't want to put it on the edge of the table, otherwise it'll flip. But right now I just put it, if I put my weight somewhere above the plastic table right here, then it won't cause any issues whatsoever. And even on the edge, I could put a lot of weight on it and it's never flipped on me whatsoever. So that's what the first layer is all about. It's sufficient for 2 of my plastic trays for my units, and even a coffee mug in here if you wanted to. It's better there than on the top, that's for sure. Now you see over here I have this little edge on it, and there is a reason for that, and I'll show you here momentarily. So the top layer, it has a sufficient clearance that I could even set up some of these things to be really quite tall, right? So that works decently well. I could stack things up and I could have my units in here. I could have a board ongoing and set up. I could have an ongoing game set up and put a layer on top every once in a while to play another board game. And as you see here, this is the other board game. Now keep in mind, these are in 3 panels. Because this is a 4x8 board, what I need to do is, what I can do is this. I can simply pull it apart and separate them into 3 panels and put them in my closet or wherever I need to do just to make some space. So that's really nice from a gaming perspective, because there's been many a time when I have 36 set up over here and I've got to clean it up so I could play another board game or do some filming on top. So this really makes life a little bit easier on me, and I quite like it. And it sits really nicely within these ridges as well, so I don't ever have to worry about somebody pushing it from one end and it falling off the table on the other. Now you may have noticed that I don't have any supports on the top layer, and I still need to get to that. These things I haven't trimmed them to the right size, so eventually I'll have to adjust for that a little bit later on. But yeah, I need to retrim those and cut some new ones and make that work out. And what else can I show you? So 3 panels, like I said, and the back side is the only one that doesn't have a trim to hold it in place. Now, what about the rest of the room? Well, I have some blankets on here to dampen the sound a little bit, and I'm not sure if it helps or not, but eventually I'll add to it. Above on the roof, I have a spider light, is what it's called. I got this from Wish. It just adds a lot of light to the room, so it means that there's very little shadow anywhere in the room. There's some, of course, but very little compared to what it would be if I just had a single solitary light up there above. My initial setup I had lamps in every single corner of the room, and that just occupies space. Okay, so in that corner I have kind of a creative corner where I do, different things I've created in the past and thinking about in the future, and we'll go over there a little bit later on. Let's take a look at this one here. Now, everything you see here for the most part is either given to me or thrift store acquisitions. And that picture of the dog I just thought was very amusing, and you can't quite see it because it's got a heavy layer of glaze on it. But yeah, I have that's a Russian hat from, I don't know when, but it's got acrylic, Cyrillic script on it. So that goes up there, and the rest of this is all basically as you see it. Those knives over there have all been given to me as well. So this one's from Czechoslovakia, kind of a army scouts and such. My heritage comes from Czechoslovakia, and this one kind of fell into my hands over the years. This one here comes from the Philippines. A friend of mine went out there. And this one from Alaska. A friend of mine brought that back for me when he came. And very handy to have a couple of knives around. Over here I have a bit of a creative corner. Just artistic work, nothing too special. And here I have a painting done for me for my birthday by my brother. He loves to paint, has painted forever. And so he knows I like the artist that created the work for Scythe, the board game, and so he emulated some of his work and created here a war machine sitting on some lawn as people are playing tennis. So yeah, I'm really happy and pleased to have that on there. That's really cool, and a talking point nonetheless. Okay, and as for the rest of it, I have some artistic work over there. We'll wander around the table a little bit and I could show you all what I have to show you. So some work I did here, you see Canada expansion, I have list off there, and some of the other more artsy kind of looking stuff. Here's just a small shelf of smaller books and some microphone and such. That corner over there I'm not going to show you because it lists off some of the video ideas I have in the future. And just a board game shelf. You're very familiar with this look. This is where I'm at. Now, actually that picture there is much lower than my eye level. The top edge of the frame is my eye level, but from the level of the table, kind of works out, right? What else to show you? I think that's about it. So yeah, my son is perpetually in here playing around with dice. He happens to call them keys for some reason. So dice are keys, and then markers, they're eyes for some reason. I couldn't tell you why, but that's what he calls things. Fantastic. Okay, thank you all for watching, and I hope you enjoyed this short little video on how to make it. Now, I wouldn't advise buying plywood just at this time of the year because it's very expensive. I ended up paying, I think, 90 bucks for this one, and that's gone up from whatever it would be 60 bucks when before COVID or something like that, right? So things change. But yeah, if it's giving you some ideas on how to set up your own table, that's fantastic. I will talk to y'all later. Cheers.